Ivan Bakanov, a childhood friend of Vladimir Zelensky, his partner and the lawyer of the studio Kvartal 95. And now, and even the head of the election headquarters, which meets there, virtually all, and the chairman of the party, servant of the people. In the beginning of the conversation, obvious that he is uncomfortable in front of the camera. It is very brief, but the answers to each question, and Mr. Zelensky calls Vladimir. During a conversation, says that the headquarters does not receive any instructions from billionaire Igor Kolomoisky, admits that had never been in parliament, and if Vladimir Zelensky win, I don't mind being a prosecutor. I would. If we talk about all our supporters, it is about 500,000 people. This so-called Sukomondi, mobilized around Vladimir Alexandrovich in Ukraine. Can you tell me how we are looking for supporters to travel to all regions, but unfortunately, 80% of these conversations ended with the question, how many people will be in party lists after we will support you? Our team, someone who generates ideas, is the person who is responsible for creative, Mikhail Valiev, creative producer of 95 Quarter. Ad. Someone writes the lyrics, someone is improvising. And so this collective mind creates what you see. Enough to upload a video in social networks, and if you're honest in their messages, these videos will be to watch, post and tell the family, at work, anywhere. There are different types of election campaigns, including image, when nobody knows. You need to get some sort of political image, and then you need to appear in the media, going on TV show, someone to discuss and possibly cooked. For 1+1 can express their personal opinion. These people are really our sympathetic. I am very pleased to work with them. I am proud to know many of them. Just one day you wake up and your party someone takes scissors and leaves only the number one, and then gives absolutely other people who do not meet the general criteria. I would. When we started planning, we had studied the legislation. Without this it is impossible to exist, because today all the guns against us. We predicted that this would happen. I would. If to speak about contacts Vladimir, I think that there is no such interaction candidate, but he isn't in the phone book. There is not such a major Ukrainian businessman, which he is not in the phone book. As for the chorus, the idea of video, if you so, then it was the idea of unifying the movements of his and Vladimir. But unfortunately, she was unsuccessful. BBC News Ukraine, program Zelensky offers all to decide on the referendums. Does it seem to you that the specialized issues still must be dealt with by professionals? After all, nobody expected that Zelensky has a program when he went to file documents to the Secheks. On this program he worked at least 7 months, but he does not talk about it. I would. Yesterday, recorded interview March 14. Ad. We had a former Russian politician who lives in Ukraine and the only one voted against the annexation of Crimea, Ilya Ponomarev head. Was the expert group on foreign policy. We were interested to know what you think. Also there were former ambassadors, diplomats. They have polar views on some issues, but during the discussion we can find common ground and find some kind of middle ground. Imagine one day, for example, on April 1, wakes up the whole country and suddenly get a break of this system. There appears a completely different person who is not accustomed to do what was done by the system all these years. No one knows how to deal with him, because those framework agreements, which were used usually in his mind, in his practice do not work. After all, he had a completely different human qualities. I think this is a chance to change the entire system. It is known that fish rots from the head. View what we eat, drink, and then go to the pharmacy and buying fake medicines. Then go to the hospital, which differ significantly from European, and then us for money just hiding. And how is it called? So we want to live? BBC News Ukraine, we are now in the hallway so Utica, Yuri Kravchenko, actor of 95 Quarter, ed. It talked about it Vladimir, when it announced a hike of another actor on the block in politics.